Oh, goodness.
Good morning, everyone, or evening, depending on when you're watching this. We are broadcasting live from the Mango household. This is the August meeting, and I'm going to turn it over to Jen.
Good morning. Good morning to the house full of people that we have. Good morning to you online. It is August 2nd already. I cannot believe that. Who feels like they've enjoyed their summer so far? Feels like they've had a summer? Yes? I have seen lots of pictures. Well, and the good news is for those of you who don't feel like it, like my kids say, Emma says to me the other day, Mom, your summer starts in 3 weeks when we go back to school. So anyway, it's been an interesting summer. I am Jen Mango. For those of you watching online, all of you in this room know me. If not, we've introduced ourselves. And I'm an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and I've been with Plexus since June 17th of last year. What else? This is my husband, Phil. You guys saw. Phil is a Ruby Ambassador. He took a little bit of time. He didn't decide to join until September.
That's right. I waited.
He was a very much, for anybody in this room that knows him knows what a skeptic he was. So we are going to just open up in prayer and get started. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you and praise you for this day. We thank you for this time together. And I just ask, Father, for those that are on their way and for those that are watching online and for the people in this room, Lord, that you bless and redeem their time this morning. Let our words be edifying. Thank you for bringing us together for such a great cause, to make such a difference and be a light in people's lives where there's been no hope, that we can provide hope through a tool, Father. In your holy name we pray. Amen. All right. So I did that. Sorry, I have to stick to Phil's little agenda here. So our announcements, we're going to do some announcements. For July, I think we could all agree that it seems like things slowed down a little bit. Probably for all of us, we were maybe not as consistent with our posting, or if we were, there's challenges. And the good news is that July is now over. But July was really a pretty good month for our team, despite being what I have now found out. You know, they always tell you after the fact, but on the Plexus Tools page, they were like, well, July is always the slowest month. Thank you for letting us know. In June, it was like, yep, June and July are slow months, but July is really the slowest. And so in spite of that, our team grew collectively by 48 ambassadors, which is very, very wonderful news. We had a PV, which meant how much product we sold, of $130,000, $130,815.
Almost $131,000.
Yes. So again, thinking about impacting lives and being in a slow month, how many people that we reached and we touched through our products.
As it relates to that, Sarah, you're good. Just to expand on that point, we had over 50 team members do over 500 PV, and another 20 team members do over 1,000 in PV. So the challenge that we had last training was, let's grow our ambassador or our customer base, because the more customers we have, the more those turn into ambassadors. So the fact that we did that was a great accomplishment.
Well, right, and you guys need to pat yourselves on the back, because again, looking at the company average and knowing that our goal was to get to 300 in PV, that over 50 people went well above and beyond. Just again, we'll establish the pay point for this last month, and we'll see. And you guys that have done that and have grown your customer base are right for the picking for ambassadors. Because we talked about that the best, like Phil said, the best ambassadors come from your customers. So if you have a good customer base, it makes it very easy to transition. All right. So with that, we had some promotions this month. Raise your hand if you promoted. Yes, Miss Christine. We have a silver in our room. Hi, today. Hi, Tommy. And who else promoted in this room? Promoted? Miss Carolyn Rivers. Everybody give her a hand. She promoted to gold. So Mom and I have a little gift up here on the counter for you. For all of you that have been doing this for a while, we have several in the room that are super close, that are going to be there very soon. But for those of us who have ranked gold or above, we know that's work, guys. That's commitment to your business. Every time, with every rank that you achieve, you realize that you're in one step deeper and that you're really in it for the long haul. And so take time to enjoy that. I know Phil gets on to me because with every goal that I set, and then I meet, I'm like, next, I'd look at the next thing. But really revel in that. Take stock in where you're at, and use it to propel you and inspire you to motivate you to move
Maybe
forward.
one day. Don't take too long to enjoy it. Maybe one day enjoy it. And get there. We had one other ambassador as well. He's not here, but let's announce him.
Dawn Ladney, we're very excited as well, promoted to gold, and so she could show up because she can be late sometimes. Sorry, Diane. But she may or may not be here, but I will get you your gift, Dawn, if you don't show up today. That is fine. Who of you were able to listen to our call about the newbie trainings that I did with like hardly any boys? A couple of y'all listened. Okay, so we have a new thing that we're going to do. I don't know really how often, with the growth. I think it'll probably depend on how fast we're growing. But the leaders within our team are going to start being responsible for hosting this call that says, now that I'm new, what do I do? And this is going to be offered so that it's a 30 to 45 minutes a call to really kind of open the door to help people kind of go, okay, this is what I do now. And it just takes the onus off of you as the personal sponsor to make sure that if you're trying to connect with them and it's not happening, that you can give them an additional resource to go ahead and get started before you have your one-on-one time with them. Okay, September 20.
You don't know exactly how long.
My initial goal was to do it once a week. If we're growing at 100 or more ambassadors a month, then I think that we need it once a week. For this last month, we did it once. And again, we were in the middle of summer, so when we get to the routine, I think an ideal time is at least twice a month. And it'll be posted on our page, and your leaders then should be able to disseminate that information as well. September training is going to be, so our September training, probably from now on, and I'm not going to say never, but from now on our trainings will not be hosted here. And that's because, one, because we're growing, which is an awesome thing, but two, logistically, and we're going to talk about the meat of our meeting today, is that we're going to kind of push some people out of the nest today, and we're going to start talking about doing your own meetings and hosting opportunity meetings. August is the month of opportunity. That's what we're calling it for our team, and we want to see you guys start hosting your meetings, and then we'll be available to show up at all of your meetings and do that. So our September training is set for September 4th, which is a Thursday evening at Park Place, Lexus.
6 p.m. start, 6 to no later than 8. We'll probably go till about 7:30. And has anyone gone to a Park Place Lexus meeting before? Okay. Ours is going to be a little different. And I'm not saying that those weren't good. They're good. Ours is going to be great.
Phil is so full of himself.
I'm just going to be honest. It's going to be awesome. There's only 100 spots, actually 80 spots, I think, there at the dealership. So once we post that, make sure you RSVP. We're going to have some great guest speakers.
It's a great place to bring somebody that's been kicking the tires, that's not in the business yet. Yeah, literally. Because when you get to go and be around other people, just being in that environment and seeing the cars and knowing that that has become a reality for not just one person, not just two people, but dozens of people on our immediate team, that really kind of connects something for you and really can kind of be an inspiration as well there. Everybody knows.
That's September the 4th, 6 p.m.
September the 4th, 6 p.m. Out-of-towners, get here. Preferred contest. Everybody knows about the contest. Who has gotten?
I don't know about the contest. Can you explain it?
You do know about the contest. There is currently a promotional contest going on to get new customers. Who can explain the contest? So I'm not the only one speaking. Who wants to explain it? Y'all, seriously. Thank you, Stace.
For every 3 new customers you get, you will receive $50 bonus on your August 22nd, Friday, August 22nd paid.
Exactly, on your little bonus check, that Friday check. And that PV needs to be $60 or more for 3 new. Now, the good news is if you have a retail customer and they become preferred, that counts as a new preferred customer. So if you have current retail customers, this might be that, maybe you offer an incentive. It also is not limited to just 3, so it's for every 3 new preferred customers that you get. So who has so far gotten 3 new preferred customers since July 15th? Good job, Dorothy. Good job, Tim. 7. Awesome job.
That's very good.
Woohoo!
That's $250.
Yeah, so she's got $100 worth of bonuses coming. And she's going to have 2 more before August 15th. So that promotion goes on till August 15th. Take advantage of that. For people that you've been following up with, you know, offer an additional incentive. See if you can get them there. Leaders Retreat is October 16th through 19th. Is anybody seeing clearly through that mud? I know it seems rough, but we still have a lot of time, guys. We still have a lot of time. You can still work on that PV for this month and adding to your team. And then this is really a to be announced, but the leaders, and I'm going to introduce one of our leaders to you in just a second. We are looking at putting together a boot camp for September. I just wanted to know by a show of hands how many of you would be interested, and I know I've got a lot of full-time working people in this room, so just bear with me for a second. But if you would have time available during your day to attend like a Plexus boot camp,
What would the
which
boot
would
camp
be a boot camp would be not lifting weights and stuff, but maybe it will be. We'll see what it turns into. But really, there would be strategy-specific or topic-specific meetings that you could attend that would say, okay, I'm going to Jen's house today, and I'm going to learn about the power of 3. And when I leave there, I can explain the power of 3 without a flyer, without notes, without my computer in front of me, and I understand it, and I get it, and I know how to present it. There's so much information, as you guys know. Our business is easy, but there's lots and lots to kind of manage and understand. And so we think if we broke it down into chunks, and you could go and sit at Crede's house for the morning and learn about the art of inviting, that you could leave there and feel better about your business and when it comes to inviting people to look at the business.
I have a suggestion. What about if we had like 4 people in one room, like a big place, like even like a park place, and over in that corner, this is what we're going to discuss, and then 45 minutes later they rotate over here, so it's not people driving everywhere.
That's a great idea.
One large building,
That's a great idea.
4 different topics for a few hours, we just rotate through those topics.
And maybe we can work on that building.
Yeah, that one space, yeah.
There's just create space in Garland. Would anyone be willing to go all the way to Garland to
It's
do
not
that?
far in Garland.
Okay.
It's off of George Bush and, what you say, 75.
So, yeah.
It's barely.
Cool.
I think that would be better than
Then
once
people
in a while
investing a
everybody's-
chunk of time and then being able to, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. We'll bring that back and discuss that. Okay, spouse deadline. I just wanted to make sure that you guys understand with the compensation plan change as of September 1st, you, only one person in a family can be signed up as an ambassador, and that person must achieve gold before their spouse can then join them. If your spouse is currently doing the business with you, you have until December 31st to both become silver, which means that you have 3 qualified ambassadors under you. And at that time, if one has not met that requirement, then they'll just become automatically inactive. So I wanted to remind people, I know we've had several conversations within our team of when that deadline is, and so that would be August 31st.
Yes.
What happens to the customers?
Good question. I don't know yet. I don't
I
think that's
think
been.
it's all absorbed
Yeah,
up.
they just roll up.
They roll up to.
They do roll up to whoever the sponsoring ambassador was. So if you signed your spouse up under you, then his customers would become yours. Now, having said that, that first 100 would still go, would not count towards you. So, like, you know, if you have 5 customers, then you're only going to get paid on 4 of those because that first one is probably going to meet that $100 requirement
For who?
for him.
No, what if you shut him
If
down?
you shut him down, then those customers,
There you go.
they should be absorbed all up to you.
Or those customers call up and ask for a sponsor.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
I don't think we have the answer. Let's find
We'll
out.
have to find that out specifically for you, but we will do that.
They don't like changing, you know, who your sponsor is. I mean, they're really trying to.
But if they're getting rid of the person,
Right.
Yeah.
they're
Right.
gonna be your sponsor.
We
I
don't.
think
We do not have the answer. We will
Okay.
call and get the answer.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And I'm going to let you do that in a minute.
Yeah. Will we do it now or what?
No, I'm gonna introduce. So I would love to introduce, for a lot of you, you know this sweet person, but she is the reason why I am in front of you today because she introduced me to Plexus. and that is my sponsor, Cuday Irby, who's over here in the turquoise. Well, you saw her face on the this morning. She posted it. I just wanted her to have a chance to say hello. I know they're on their way to run to several different meetings today. So thank you. Thank you very much for coming. And whatever you would like to just say for a few minutes to the team, and then we'll keep going.
Well, I love that.
Let's come up here.
Yeah, because there's a video.
How are you? Good. Well, it's so good to see you guys. It's always fun. I know there's always a big crowd here at the Mango House. So, and I think it's a great idea that you guys are shifting to a bigger location. But I just want to encourage you. This is my husband, Tommy, over here. We actually have 3 opportunity meetings today. We have this one. I'm helping host one west of Fort Worth, Lipan, not real sure where we're going, but it'll be an adventure, a little road trip. And then we're doing one at our house tonight at 7. So I just want to encourage you guys to step out of your comfort zones. I know some of you have just started, some of you have been in this business for a while, and you know, we're definitely in the relationship business. And meeting one-on-one with people is fabulous. We have to do that. We have to nurture and foster those friendships. Also, if you have not done an opportunity meeting, I encourage you to do so. They're fun. They're easy. They can be just as super simple as you want them to be. You guys have had great examples here of the mangoes, of what you can do, and it's just all about duplication. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's another thing I love about this business. You're not having to, come up with your own ideas, and we have PowerPoints. I think most of you are probably using all the products, so you have testimonies. And like what Jen said earlier, when you want to do your own opportunity, contact us, and we'll help you. We'll attend, we'll say our little 2 cents. We'll do whatever you want us to do. But it's going to be really important for you guys to, like Jen said, August is going to kind of be that challenge where we want you guys to kind of leave the nest just a little bit and just try one. Try one. It doesn't have to be a room full like this. It can be just a few people. But they are fun. So I'm glad you guys are here. So it's a beautiful day. So.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Okay, so y'all know we typically have a testimony, and we typically have a product highlight. Well, our testimony girl's car broke down 2 days ago, and she missed work, and so she had to fill in for work. She has an awesome testimony. And Val, wherever you are, we are going to hear Val's testimony. It's a very, very powerful one. In terms of not just weight loss, but about what needs to happen up here in order to see the changes in our body that we need to happen. No matter what you put in your mouth, good, bad, or indifferent, there is a direct correlation. I know Jackie would attest to this. I can attest to this. There's probably numerous people in the room that can affirm that when your mindset is not where it needs to be, we can use all the tools that are in the world, and we can't get there. And as well as we can say why we're all in this room, and why we are all Plexus ambassadors, is that we know that even when this is right, though, sometimes there are things that are off in our body that we need a tool to help get us where we need to go. And so the two really marry well together, and Val's testimony really encapsulates that. And I'm looking forward to her sharing in the future, as well as Vicki Neep, who is committed to sharing, she said possibly in September, which will be an invaluable little piece of information and tidbit to kind of connect where you're coming from. Are you coming from a place of fear when you take our products? And this really correlates with when you're talking to customers and people go, well, I've tried everything, it's not going to work. Their mindset is already made up. And so it will be, I think, again, will be invaluable teaching for all of us.
Well, let's talk about, I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to stay right here. Don't move. I'll put you on the spot. So we're going to do a health testimony. I just decided like 60 seconds ago. Because we've been taking the products for a year now. And we had great results, and then we plateaued. And we've been there plateaued for a while, since probably January, February. And so we did something 2 weeks ago to make a jumpstart and a change. And what was that?
We decided to really look at what we were eating besides what we were putting in our bodies for supplements.
So we were taking all the products, ProBio, BioCleanse, X Factor, Slim, and
Neither one of us were taking Accelerator or Boost.
right. And so listen, our weight was not going up.
Mine was a little up. I'm
little.
a girl. That's the way it is, right?
But we weren't going back to
Real.
where we started. We weren't at the starting line. As you all know, some of you may know, I had plantar fasciitis for 2 years. It was like beyond painful, and it's been gone since I started taking Slim. And that still hasn't come back. So if for nothing else, I'm thankful for Plexus for that. But we also wanted to see some changes. So we looked at our pantry. The kids went to camp, and we decided what a great opportunity. We don't have any distractions. 3 little distractions to whine and complain. And we did a gut cleanse, which consisted of what?
Well, there basically was no sugar, no dairy, no gluten.
No processed foods.
No processed foods. So basically, what does that leave? No.
Salads. We had salads at every
No
meal.
salad dressing.
Yeah.
And I'm joking. It was hard. I had taken myself off of coffee because I had lessened my coffee drinking with my Plexus, but then I just liked coffee and I had slowly let it creep back in. So I had cut that out prior to that. Needless to say, we went back to really the basics of eating lean proteins and good leafy vegetables, not carb-filled vegetables. And
We took all of the processed foods and flours,
90% of all of it out.
they're gone. So, because what we find is our kids go to the pantry, or every 2 or 3 hours, I'm starving, and they would go and just grab crap.
Well, we would offer good things, and then, yeah.
No,
but,
we didn't
yeah.
offer good things. So,
I offered good things.
Yeah.
You didn't.
let's be honest.
I'm
So-
totally honest. Anyway,
So, in 2 weeks,
and
I lost
it
around-
was 21 days, and we could not commit to
We did-
21
we did
days.
2 weeks.
I'm sorry. We live with 3 children that we did really good the 7 days they were gone.
awesome.
Really, really good.
We had
And
meals
did it
together,
at 11. We did it 11 days.
conversations, wonderful.
Yeah, I could eat you across the table.
But
But
I know I lost around 8 pounds, and you lost
13.
right.
Woo! Bill.
But
First time ever.
but we kept doing our Slim the entire time.
Yeah. Could not have done it without Slim.
Right.
Could not have done it without Slim. And used the 96 in our shakes because that shake was just.
It was
I couldn't
interesting.
handle it. It's balanced. It's about
But
balanced.
here's
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Back to Sunday
That's-
7.
and here's the thing. We
And like
when our
that.
kids came back, we incorporated that. We're like, you're not having the crap anymore. I'm sorry, you're not.
There
doing
were
it.
lots of screaming.
There was
lots of fits.
We got a what's it called? The veggie thing?
A veggetti.
A veggetti.
Sounds like a horrible
Gotta be
thing.
careful when you say that. You have to say that very slowly. The veggetti. You have to say it slowly.
Very effective.
But it allows you to take like a zucchini and turn it into a pasta, essentially. You twist it and it comes
It's
out like.
awesome.
So without telling the kids, I took 4 zucchinis and I made
sugar
zucchini
bag.
pasta. I made fresh tomato sauce from scratch. Bomb. And
Taking sugar out of things.
no-
That's
took no
chocolate
sugar.
zucchini bread. No, we did make that from scratch, and it does have turbinado sugar in it. But
no eggs, no dairy,
right. Gluten.
gluten-free. So here's the deal. It was a little bit more work. But now we've noticed over the last 10 days, since our kids have been back, they're not going to the pantry in between meals. They're not hungry because they're getting good fuel. And they're still all on Plexus and everything else. So it's been a tremendous awakening for our family. And we're like, we went out to eat. You know, it's like, okay, well, what can we have and what can we do and what's going to be the best possible choice? So
Just getting to refocus.
refocus, recenter. So that's kind of the theme for us, but I think for everyone in this room going forward, a good refocus, not only your health, but your business and everything else. So thanks for
There
letting
you
us
go.
share.
And you
Help
can
us,
keep
Mike.
it simple. You don't have to go do a million recipes and everything. You can make it easy peasy.
We're doing paleo now, which if you have questions afterwards, we'll explain. But essentially, we're no sugars, no processed foods, and it's great alternatives. It's really, I didn't think I would not crave a burger, and
It is. It is.
you know, I'm enjoying it. It's really been good for our family.
So is the jetty in mix?
We'll show
Yeah,
you.
we'll show you. I'll do a demonstration afterwards.
We love gadgets.
I made it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yes.
Yes.
So I did the squash. It makes it just like spaghetti. I made it for the kids. I did the fresh tomato sauce. I didn't tell them it was zucchini because you boil it, did a little olive oil, a little salt, boiled it, and they started eating it. And they're like, okay, this is a little different. It's good. I wait till the end. I'm like, you just ate zucchini. That wasn't even pasta. Boom. We had a friend over that I made it for and had her eat it. So I was telling her, I'm like, did you like it? I'm like, yeah, that was zucchini. And she's like,
No,
She goes,
I
I've
said
never had that in
I've
my
never
entire
had
life.
zucchini my entire life. So
Okay, we're digressing.
there we go.
But I
Good.
Stick to your
said
agenda.
that It was avocado in that pudding.
Good testimony.
We did do
Yes,
the
and we
avocado
did
pudding as
avocado
well.
pudding, yes.
And they could tell. I could tell.
Get on Pinterest. You can find anything you want on Pinterest or Google. It's easy to find. Okay, so Gloria is not here yet either. Gloria is going to do our product highlight this month is going to be on X Factor. How many of you take X Factor? Good. Most of you in the room. If you are not on X Factor, you need to be on X Factor. Guys, like Prede said, we need to be products of our product. And it really does boost your immune system. And if she gets here, she will touch. She has a whole little thing she's going to talk on. But really, the absorption qualities. I don't know. How many of y'all read that testimony from Cindy Arredondo yesterday on our team page? I know Stacy saw it. A couple of you
Go
saw it
back
in the
and read
room.
it if you haven't.
If you have not read it, she lives in Prosper. She has liver disease. She has been in stage 4 liver disease, and now the doctor has said that all of her liver numbers are all in the normal range. And that's with the Plexus products. That is the only thing that she has changed. And so she was asking if she's not on X Factor and was talking about bone loss and bone density. And so somebody recommended that the X Factor. But again, with this cleanse that we did, we added some supplements, which is one thing that I'm so thankful with Plexus that we do not take 15 or 18 pills a day like I was taking with this cleanse. Because it was a little difficult to swallow. all the
Neon
pills.
green pea, just say
And
it.
having,
It's
you know,
awful.
very bright, stinky pee. And I mean, that's being really just calling it like it is. But when you take X Factor,
It
you
was
guys.
shocking, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes,
Jennifer
it's
did
just,
not tell me.
I'm sorry, I
Very
should have
shocked.
Yeah. Which means it's not absorbing.
Right, which you don't really know what you're absorbing. And so with our X Factor, we do see that we're absorbing what we're putting in our system. And so that again, is a valuable thing. Okay. So y'all, some of you guys asked me about this calendar I had on the back counter, and we've talked about opportunity. Renee talked about opportunity, and our meeting today is more of a training meeting, but something occurred to me when Phil and I last Friday night, when the kids were still gone, a week ago Friday, we had been asked by one of our ambassadors to come and host an opportunity meeting for her. And y'all have heard me stand right here and say to you, I'm not doing opportunity meetings. I don't need to do opportunity meetings. This is relationship based. Well, guess what? I've grown my business. We have grown as a team. We're over 700 members, ambassadors strong, which is an amazing thing. But guys, my friends are all ambassadors that want to be ambassadors, and then their friends that I could talk to are then ambassadors under them. My warm market, or who I can immediately touch on a day-to-day basis, is pretty much tapped out 13 months in. Does that discourage me? No. It challenges me to say, you know what? I have to think outside of my little Frisco box, and outside of my mom of 3 box, and outside of my hockey mom box, because Erica has now taken that over. And you know, thinking outside of the PTA box, because Stacy, you know, whatever your connection is that had you connected to other people then starts to become already pink. And if it's already pink, then we have to find that there are people outside of our community and our world. Does that mean that I run into people every day that I could potentially talk to that have never heard about Plexus? Yes. And so I have to think outside of my warm market. And so the easiest way to do that is to start hosting opportunity meetings and looking at ways to put our product and to put ourselves in front of people. And we've talked about, you know, find a new hobby or start going to a new Bible study, or because it is still very much a relationship-driven business, because I'm not going to talk about how many times I go to the bathroom with a stranger most of the time, unless they're a doctor. I'm not going to talk about my struggle with sugar or my struggle with if I have blood sugar issues. I'm not going to tell somebody, my gosh, my numbers this morning were 400 and something. somebody's not going to typically tell you that unless there's a little bit of trust and confidence there. So 2 weeks ago on a Friday night, we were invited to come do an opportunity meeting. I stood in front of 3 people on somebody's couch that had shown up and realized that this was the first time in 12 months, 13 months, that I had an opportunity to share Plexus in a very warm and inviting situation where they could feel comfortable and ask questions. We sat and talked for like an hour and a half, and out of that room there will be 2 customers and an ambassador from those 3 people. So a light bulb kind of moment hit for us and said, why are we not training you guys to do this? Why are we not giving you the opportunity to encourage you to do this and to come alongside you so that if you don't feel confident enough in your own testimony, which I would argue with most of you in this room, because if I sit and talk to you for 5 or 10 minutes, there's a testimony there that will touch somebody in your immediate life for sure. But we just found that now is the time to do this. And in a season where people are ready to regather, reorganize, refocus for the school year, we use the school, but just the fall in general is a really good time when people, we got to get ahead of the game with holidays and things like that. This is the perfect time to give people an opportunity to look at what we have to offer. So we are going to challenge you. We are not going to have a drawing today unless your name goes on this calendar somewhere for a date. And we have left this open. I circled one day because I know that Stacy and Shauna and their girls have already got this something planned on the 10th. But and you can have us come or you don't have to have us come. It's not going to hurt our feelings.
It could be in the morning, it could be in the evening, it could be in the afternoon, whatever is convenient for the people that you're going to invite and for yourself. We are committed for this month, no matter what day that you pick, if you want us there, we'll be there.
One of us or both of us will be there.
If for some reason your schedules are busy with your kids, I'll call me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to put this back there so that if you need to leave early, your name is going to get on here. And then from this list, we will draw names for prizes today.
So at the end of the month, as long as you have at least 2 people, 2 potentials there, whether they're ambassadors or customers, then you'll qualify. They will draw from the hat. $50 is up for stakes. And then, in addition, of the people that have a meeting, the team or the person that has the most ambassadors and customers join from that meeting will earn $50. So you have a chance to make $100 if you're drawn from the hat and you have the best meeting. You have
not the best. That wouldn't be the best.
Most productive. Come on.
If you fill a room with 50 people, we might say you win, but.
As long as they turn into customers
Yes,
and ambassadors, yes. Okay.
So that's what this is, and we're going to go over our handout in just a second. So I just
Okay.
want to make sure that was back there.
Jen, could I add one thing?
Of course, yeah.
The meeting that we're going to here in about 15 minutes, it's a 2.5 hour drive. And I was kind of shaking my head going, do we really want to drive 2.5 hours, for, like you said, go meet with 2-3 people, but this young lady who's putting this meeting on, she started July 15th. Mm-hmm. She was Creday's #2 earner this month.
Wow.
In this little bitty town outside of Fort Worth. She has 10 people that are confirmed and are going to be at this meeting today. So, like Jen was saying, when your warm market's tapped out, I mean, we're going to go 2 hours away. That I'm sure that area is not painted real pink. Mm-hmm. And they're hearing about it for the first time. We get spoiled because we think everybody's heard about Plexus.
Right.
Here, in Frisco and Allen and Plano and McKinney. But there's people out there who still haven't heard about it, that need to hear about it. And don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and do that. And, like Phil and Jen were saying, if you're busy, or if you set up one of these opportunity meetings and they're going to it, and you say, oh, doggone, that's when I was going to do mine. Set it up and have Creday come, have Rainey come. This is what we do.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
For
All right,
sure.
so
Yeah.
question before we jump in.
Well, I don't have a question. I just want
Yes.
to say that our meeting that we're hosting is going to be more like that. They're talking, but we need to start sharing ideas and talk and say, how are you doing? What are you doing? you know, how come you're doing so well? So that's what our meeting is more about, for us to all share ideas
that's a
and
great
just to talk. So it's really more informal than a sit down, two people talk, because I think that we all still need to be talking instead of, you know, Facebook messages here or there.
That's great.
So that's what we're planning on the 10th at
Love it.
2:30 at a wine bar in Frisco Square, and it's happy hour all day.
Yeah. Now we know the real reason. Yeah. Now the truth comes out as to why we're okay.
And
Okay.
I have a best ambassador signing up today.
Era. Put a little Plexus in the coffee. Okay, so everyone got one of these. If you didn't, I'll go print some more. It's how to host an opportunity meeting, and there's space for you to take notes. Jen's going to cover that now. I'm going to go print more. If people need them, raise your hand.
Yeah,
I'll get you more. I'll get more.
4, 5.
I think you need more.
Yeah, maybe 10 more, Phil. Okay. That is awesome, and I do agree. And really, honestly, for you guys to know the power of, you know, for all of us, for me, my inspiration a year ago in August was going and hearing Celeste talk and showing a $21,000 check for the month. And so since Crede, I'm not where Crede is, but where I know that I am and earning over $10,000 a month, is very powerful when you walk into a room and somebody's like, well, I'm asking for you're asking for $34.95 or you're asking for $200. And they're like, well, I don't even know if I have that to make this start working. And you guys know that when Phil and I have shared, Phil was like, I don't know where this is going to come from next month for you to continue to do this. And so that's where we want to be available to you, because when people can meet you and talk to you and ask you questions and say, how hard was it, Crede, when you started? How fast did you start making $1,000? How fast were you able to pay your car payment? Did you go through, and her story, and you know, walking through life's things, and things happen in life, guys, that we can't control and can't always foresee, and yet God has put Plexus in our life, and I know she feels like God has put Plexus in her life to be a total catalyst to get her well over a bridge to another side that was much, much better and what God had planned for her. So avail yourself to that. That being said, we're not going to come and run the meeting. We want you to run the meeting, because those people that are going to come are connected to you. So we'll come and speak and share and certainly help, but we want you to feel empowered to do it. Okay.
Yeah. They're coming around.
So this little paper we just came up with real quickly. It's very, how many of you guys are using Plexus Power Tools that we talked about last month? If you are not, check out plexuspowertools.com. It is $10 for a year. Thanks, guys, again for coming. We appreciate it, and safe travels. Plexuspowertools.com is an excellent, excellent, excellent resource for you to have files and documents that are all Plexus compliant, home office compliant, to use at your fingertips. And I was surprised, and I will be recommending to him that we start something on opportunity meetings, because there is no documentation.
We'll
on
recommend it if we get our
opportunity
next year's subscription for free, and then you can put it on
No.
there. Okay.
It's $10 a year to access the files. So we came up with this really very quickly. So if you have something to add, please go ahead and share. But thinking about hosting an opportunity meeting, what does that look like? Obviously, making a list. And we talked last month about how to make a list, and thinking about that your list is not just the people that you go to church with. Your list is not just your neighbors. Your list is really, Facebook is a great example of that, because you have connections on your Facebook friends that you have from the past, that are close, that are far away. But really think outside your box. And, you know, Becky, who's not here this morning, she always says when she gives out a business card, she gives 3, because she doesn't want to just touch the person she's in front of. She wants to touch beyond that. So when making your list, make sure that you're opening your invitation to people beyond the people that you're able to speak with. Say, bring your mother, bring your friends, bring your girlfriend that has fibromyalgia, bring somebody that has MS. And make sure that you really expand that. What do you want to say about making
Is there
a list?
anyone that shouldn't be invited?
Well, you don't want your advocate people there.
Well, I mean, but this is not meant to be a network marketing meeting where you've got your Sensi rep and your...
No, we were going to talk about that down here on
Okay, sorry.
the location. But yes, this is obviously, when you do make your list, if you have current customers that are happy, invite them to your opportunity meeting. This is a great place for them maybe to feel comfortable where they don't want to have a conversation with you on the phone about the business opportunity, but they might be willing to come and then they kind of catch on to the whole little wave of excitement that you're sharing, and they're hearing people talk about making money, and then they're like, well, I love the product because da-da-da-da-da, and it will open a new opportunity for you there. When you're inviting your guests, we want to make sure that we're not just throwing it out there on Facebook and say, well, I invited all my friends. There's 500 of them, so that somebody should show up. You're going to have to put some work behind it. You're going to have to make some phone calls, send out a text. Try to personally connect with someone. So, if you're inviting, if you think, if you make your list and you're like, oh, these are all working women, then think about if you're a full-time working woman, when you would want to be able to leave your house or could leave your house, what that looks like. Don't make it for 3 hours, say it's for an hour. If it works to do it at 8 p.m., do it at 8 p.m. If you're targeting moms of younger children, you know that 8 p.m. is probably not going to work. So think about your audience and invite accordingly. Make sure that once you invite someone and they say, well, I'll think about it, follow up with them. We all say that fortune's in the follow-up, so make sure that you can try to get them to commit. And while we all know that there are things that are always going to come up, you might check with them a week before the event. Then you're going to check with them a couple days before the event. And maybe the morning of the event, you're going to send a text, I can't wait to see your face. I can't wait to hug your neck. I can't wait till we can catch up. Make some kind of connection to remind them that you're excited about seeing them for your event. Choosing the right location and time. Thinking again about what I just touched on a little bit briefly about cognizant of the time, other people's time as well as your own time. You're going to be very motivated to be there because you're building your business. They may or may not be as motivated to be there. I heard this week on one of Eric Worre's little videos from an $80 million earner who's earned $80 million over the last 18 years of his MLM career, that he talked about his targeting audience. He targets people on Sunday evenings. And the reason why is because people are psychologically getting in the mindset and dread of their work week.
Anybody have to go to work on a Monday and start to dread it on Sunday night? Yeah.
I see that with him. I see that with Phil. Almost every Sunday afternoon, late afternoon, he starts thinking about Monday morning calls and getting his logs, all of his stuff logged in his computer.
Don't put that online. What are you doing?
But thinking about, they're not watching. They're not even watching. Whatever.
I don't do them on Sunday nights. Okay.
But there is some truth, even as a mom, thinking about if you're not going to work, getting your kids ready for school after the weekend, Sunday afternoon into the evening, you start to shift. So if we targeted, and not in a manipulative way, but in a strategic way, if we're reaching out to people and saying, I would love, you've got to hear about this opportunity. I am so looking forward to tomorrow because I'm going to be sitting in my bed with my computer in my lap doing my work. I mean, honestly, guys, connect with people in a way that makes it sound inviting or enticing. Location, I just wanted to touch on this. Make sure that you have a venue that is open and conducive to sharing the opportunity. And a restaurant may not be the best place to do that. You're going to be competing with a waiter or waitress. You're going to be competing with having to order food. You're going to be competing with maybe the noise factor of the restaurant. You might be competing with little kids throwing spaghetti noodles at you from the next table. Yeah, you might be in an environment where somebody's like, I'm not going to talk over 5 people to tell you my issue or to really get to the heart of the issue that maybe needs to be addressed or could be addressed through Plexus. So think about that. And at the same time, don't try to make it like, oh, well, I told this girl who sells Stella & Dot forever that I do a show, so I'll have her come, and I'll have the Pampered Chef girl come, and I'll talk, but it'll be my meeting. That will not work. That will not work. For any of you that have ever gone to a vendor fair like that, you feel the pressure as a customer to like, oh, where do I go first, and what am I going to do? And then when you land somewhere, you usually land at one spot, right? You don't have $500 or $600 to go spend $100 with Pampered Chef and $100 with Stella & Dot and $100 here, and then, oh, Plexus, the one thing that you should be spending your money on, your health, in my opinion, is then last, and then somebody's like, oh, another $100? I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. Or they're tapped out from listening to all of the spiels. Stories. So make it your own. Talk about Plexus. For enlist a friend or your upline. And again, we've kind of rammed this down y'all's throat this morning about getting us to help you. But have a fellow ambassador. Have someone that's not even on your leg of your team. Do it together. If you don't feel comfortable doing it alone, join forces and say, hey, my friends that come, I'll talk to, and your friends that come. But we can certainly share the resource and share the time and plan together. That's going to help you. That person's going to give you, just like Shauna said, get great ideas. Well, gosh, I never thought of that. And you might have the ability to share the compensation plan really well, and that other person doesn't get it. So work together, find out what people's strengths and weaknesses are, and then move along from there. And I do know, like Cordelia said, she's open. Rainey is open to coming. So if we give people enough advance warning notice, thank you, they're more than happy to come do that for you. Or if there's somebody that just has a phenomenal testimony, you know, ask them to come. See, because it really helps all of us even if we just go to practice. Okay, utilizing resources.
Yeah, this is where you want to use back office and make sure you've got all your products that you can demonstrate. At this last party we did, we took one bag of Slim, or was it one packet of Slim? I can't remember.
No, I did bring products.
We made some small Dixie cup samples for them to do a taste test. And, you know, I'm cheap, so I took like one Slim and I broke it up into 3 or 4 different.
We made one bottle of Slim.
And then
we poured it out, and there was
cups.
half left, and feels like we should take that with.
Yeah, we're drinking that or taking it. $3. $3. Don't waste. Sustainability.
No, it's tacky. It is
Not tacky.
tacky to ask to take the drink. Take the
Just saying.
person's house.
Just saying.
Anyway, you don't have to make it a big deal. Like, don't go and make like what we had at convention, guys, and make a vat full of pink drink. Don't do that.
That was awesome, by the way.
It was.
Oh my God, that was great.
All weekend.
It was great.
But you can just make a couple. You probably did. You got a cooler in the
But
back.
as it relates to that, we had, be prepared. I think that's the next point. I had a PowerPoint presentation ready for this. I was ready to do the whole 9 yards because I got to go with Jen since the kids were gone, and I got to be with all these women like I am every weekend. It's wonderful. And so I had this thing ready, and 3 people showed, and her TV didn't work right, and so Jen literally was standing, and she sat on the floor,
I did.
crisscross applesauce, and just talked and shared and made it very intimate, and it worked beautifully. So be prepared to have the meeting that you want to have, but also be comfortable to flow with what it turns out to be.
Be flexible.
Be
And
flexible.
have, the thing about the drink too, like have a bottle in the fridge so it's really cold, and then have maybe another bottle that's room temperature, because again, like all of us have our preferences with taste. Somebody tasting at room temperature may hate it, but like they may love it cold. And then you can talk about that you can heat it up when it's winter, and if you're cold, you can drink it warm. You can talk about mixing it in there. We had catalogs at the meeting, and that made people feel comfortable because I felt like they didn't feel like they had to stare at my face the whole time while I was talking, because I was doing the majority of the talking. I did ask lots of questions. In that environment where there was only a couple of us, I said, what was it? Why did you want to come today? Did you feel forced to come? I kind of made it a joke. I said, did you owe her a favor? Is that the only reason you came? The one girl, y'all, and I'm talking about her, and she's probably going to watch this later. She's moving this morning. Her name is Patrice. It was a total God connection. She works for the FDA.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm going to reserve myself from the things that she has told me so far, not to share publicly yet online, but really, really, really good. And she's been looking for a really, really, really long time at products to find something that would work and make sense based on what she's lived in for years. And this is the answer. So it was really cool, but I wouldn't have gotten out all that information had I not asked questions along the way throughout the presentation. It just felt like I must stick to the plan, I must stick to the presentation.
Wait, really?
Yes, really. And so the catalogs did help, because then
They did.
the one girl's like, well, tell me about this body cream. Well,
We
y'all
hadn't planned to
know
talk about
we're not
body
going to
cream.
talk about body cream usually when we go do an opportunity meeting, but that mattered to her because she has kids with eczema. So we talked about it. And then she's like, well, I got $50. Can I buy that right now? And then I'm like, no, you can't. She goes, well, that is a selling point right there, because when you come to a party, you expect to be hassled and have to leave spending money right then. And I go, sorry, you're not going to get to spend any money yet. You can go home and spend money when you get in front of your computer. But she thought that that was a great selling point and was ready to go right then with that.
Yep.
And then the last thing is just make it fun. Again, and we touched on this too.
And it's also when you're doing the invite, right? I mean, how you present and how you the party, what it's going to be like, the opportunity, make it fun. I know I don't look forward to going anywhere. In fact, I'm at that crotchety old age where I'll say no. I'm like, that doesn't sound like fun to me. I have no problem at 40 now saying, no, thanks. So make it fun.
You didn't have that problem at 39.
I didn't have that problem at 39. I just say, yeah. But make it fun and make it interactive.
And if you need ideas, that's where, again, meeting with everybody on the 10th would be great. Maybe that's, we sit there and go, I started thinking, and Phil would be like, stop talking. But, filling up pink balloons with something, like a little question or something in it and let people put.
Yeah, no, that's great.
You can do whatever. You don't have to just come sit in a room and listen to somebody talk. Don't make it long. Make it easy. Don't try to close and hard sell at the moment that during that meeting, because you're gonna be frustrated. Those people are gonna feel it. The person that's hosting is gonna feel awkward. It's just not gonna be a good situation. Make sure that there's a way to get information. And we did not do this, and that was the one thing we talked about with only 3 people. It was easy. I had business cards out. I told them to come to friend me right then if they could on their phone, or friend me when they got home so they could see my information. But I would have loved to have their information, and so have a little sign-in sheet with their name and phone number, or name and address, or email address. Yes, Dorothy?
I called several people from my home. I don't really want to say it's an opportunity.
So call it a pink
So what do
party,
you say?
a pink drink
You can
party.
call it whatever you want, quite honestly.
Or a party.
Does anybody have any ideas? Because you've got to have something to get them there.
Right.
Yeah.
What are we going to call it? We don't want to call it an opportunity.
Right. I think
just thinking
I think people have called them tasting parties. I think people call them pink parties, pink drink parties. You can do a giveaway if you want to do a giveaway. We did not do a giveaway, and these women were not expecting a giveaway. I think I did have fast release samples out on the table, and one girl took a sample.
Yeah. And
that just opened the door to talk about the product. But again, and that was a really simple one. I mean, and don't limit yourself to just thinking you have to have just your couch full. You could, if you get with a couple people and you want to go to, I don't know, a country club, or if you have the opportunity to be in a larger space and you want to try to fill that space, we encourage you to do that.
And well, again, it goes to preparation. We'll be prepared to be there and really help sign people up too. I mean, here's the thing about having your upline there or us there, is that you don't have to be the bad guy, so to speak. If we go in with a hard close and you're the host, and you're like, well, it's just them. I mean, they're the one pushing. It's not me. I'm still your friend. Yeah, that's not really resonating with
He's a
anyone.
hard closer.
I'm a
Yeah,
hard
like
closer.
I said 5 minutes ago, don't put the pressure on anyone there in the moment, because I think it's about sharing and educating for the meeting. It's getting over the objection of what does the drink taste like, and really what am I getting myself into in terms of taking the supplements. And then the follow-up is going to be your homework from your opportunity meeting. You can't just expect to have the opportunity meeting and suddenly turn gold this month because you held an opportunity meeting and 20 people showed up. There is going to be some work involved on the other end, and we're going to be providing you tools throughout this month through the website and through our team page of how to facilitate that. And that's really going to be our focus for the remainder of the month. So we have 28 days left. Think about your calendar and what you have going on. If you can commit to a date, now that date obviously if it needs to change can change, but if you are seriously committed to seeing your business grow, and guys, this is the truth. We're 4 months from the end of the year. And if you have some goals, we talk about goals, they usually need to be 30 to 90 day goals, right? So you need a 30-day goal for yourself for this month, but you also need to be thinking about 3 months from now where you want to be. Wherever you want to be 3 months from now, you have to put action behind where you want to be today. You have to. And if we don't, we're not going to be where we said or where we want to be, more than likely. So our encouragement to you is to take some action today, and our action would be by choosing a date, and then based on the first 5 people that get their dates on there. Well, once you put your name on there, I'm going to say you can take one of the Bath and Body Works stuff.
Look at you. It
I
would be
know.
like a
I
mad
just
dash to
changed
the bar.
it. Hey, you know, we all jump for free stuff, right? Last night we went to the rodeo. Y'all saw our pictures. And what was I going to say about this with the free thing?
Was it the little.
Yes, so they're doing this boomerang thing, and they're like, okay, we're going to either throw it to this side or this side. And just watching people's reaction and behavior. When you tell someone they're going to get a piece of plastic for free, all these people are jumping up and screaming, and it comes to our side, and it goes under the
So hold on, all the people are jumping up, going crazy for a free thing, and it starts to get close to us, and what do you do?
I'm like, go get it, Phil, go get it! Get it! So then it goes under the bleachers, and it was like a mad dash of kids on that nasty floor, all trying to crawl under the bleachers to go get it.
Yeah.
So, again, proof that
No
no,
one.
we didn't get
Yeah.
it. We didn't get it. It was
Yeah.
a spinny thingy. We didn't get the spinny thingy. Oh, well. We got much better, but...
Stop at the dollar store and get one of
That's
those.
right.
Exactly. Okay. Question.
Today's meeting again?
Yes.
The 10th?
But yeah, so it's Sunday at 2:30.
Let's wrap it up with the studio
Yeah,
audience, and we'll ask
I think
the
it's like
questions.
Spirit 2, I don't know how to say it. It's the wine bar and this one.
All right, we are going to end things online. Thank you all for joining. Have an awesome August.